Well, hello, lovely people. Welcome to today's pick a card reading. Today we will be doing something more fun and lighthearted. The topic will be who has a crush on you. This could be a person that you already know, maybe that you are somewhat aware that they like you. It could be completely out of the blue. It might be someone you didn't expect. It could be someone you don't know, and maybe this is something which is coming up next for you. So we'll see, and we'll look a little bit into the characteristics of this person, maybe a context in which you know them from, or something around their life which would give you a bit more clue into them, some of their personality traits, and we'll also look into some astrological indicators, be it something specifically that they have in their natal chart, or at the very least, again, something which characterizes their personality. So as you can see, there are three piles to choose from. Pile 1 would be the whale, pile 2 is the dragon, and pile 3 is the shark. And you can either pick the card that speaks to you the most, or the bracelet. The first bracelet is the kitty from Alice in Wonderland. The second one is a heart-shaped bracelet, and the third one has little smileys, which are not all too visible in this lighting. But yeah, pick the one that draws you in the most, and let's see who has a crush on you. Hello, pile 1. If you chose either the bracelet with the kitty from Alice in Wonderland, I don't know what his name is, or the whale card, then this is your part of the reading. And today we will have a Mexico filter on because it is sunny outside and I am sitting in front of a window. But I mean, the cards are visible, so who cares? So let's get into the person who has a crush on you. Just to remind, if you didn't see the intro, this could be a person you know, or maybe a person you are not all that aware of, maybe someone even who will come into your life next. So it could be that you still don't know them. But starting off with the whale, you know that the whale is a creature of depth. It is a creature which can delve deep into the sea and feels comfortable doing so, despite the fact that they are a mammal, as far as I know. The idea with the whale is that the whale is a person of great emotional depth. It is a person who has been through a lot, and this experience has enriched them in many ways. Like, they are an empathetic person, they are a knowledgeable person, they would know how to help you or advise you in a given situation, but also just they are not afraid to delve into the heart of things, even if it's difficult. Like, they are not afraid of their own dark side, let's say, and they are also not afraid of the dark side of other people as well. And the other significator card that came up for you, which might give some context surrounding where you meet this person or something around this person's life, you have the High Honor card. And with High Honor, on the one hand, it could be that this person is somehow, let's say, abnormally tall in comparison to you. Maybe, let's say, if you are to be stereotypical, if you are from an Asian town where everyone's like 170 or something, this person might be 185, and you might meet them in the Netherlands, which is a super tall country, but somehow in relation to you, this person might be abnormally tall, like high. Hopefully not high on other stuff. And as to the card itself, something around how you might meet them, it might be when they are receiving some kind of achievement. So for instance, if you are in a work environment, it could be someone higher up than you, or it could be, let's say, even a colleague of yours who gets some kind of honor and gets promoted, or it might be someone from school who just graduated. It's just, there's the idea here of this person achieving something specific and something grand in whichever context that may be. Good. Then we have a couple of cards for astrology specifically. Again, This can be either something that they have in their natal chart, like directly. It could be a planet that they have, a sign that they have, or at the very least, it will be something that you notice in their personality. So we have a couple of things. As a sign, the only sign that came up for this person is Sagittarius. So they can be a Sagittarius sun. They might have another prominent planet which is in Sagittarius. From the planets that came up, we have the Moon and Venus. So one of those could be also in Sagittarius. Or if not, this will be a person who seems really free-spirited and worldly, let's say. So it might be a person who has traveled a lot. It might be a person who is somehow from a different culture, different background, just somehow different from you. You know, Sagittarius is like the foreigner in a way. And it will be a person who is filled with optimistic energy and this need to explore the world, to broaden their horizons. They might be interested, let's say, in philosophy or even in religion. Like, this is not a rigid person, what I'm trying to say, maybe as a baseline. This is a person who wants to explore, wants to live through different experiences. Yeah. Now, as to the other planetary cards, regarding the moon that I mentioned, we have the waxing gibbous phase, which I don't think it's written which one this exactly is. If I'm not mistaken, this should be between 45 degrees and 90 degrees from the sun, but I could be wrong. So if you want to check that out specifically, it is waxing gibbous. And the idea when it comes to personality of the person for this phase, this is again an expansive person, not expensive like monetarily expensive, but like they want to expand. And this is a very driven moon phase. This is the moon phase of people who care about advancing themselves. So this is not going to be a person who just wants to sit on the couch and do nothing and just stare into the abyss or mindlessly watch Netflix the whole weekend. Like, that might be a great pastime activity every now and again, but this will be a person who has a lot of things to do and who wants to go to a lot of places and again experience a lot of things. We also have the Venus planet coming up. So Venus might be significant for them again in the chart somehow. Whether Venus is strong in itself in the chart, or it might be, for instance, that they have a Libra or a Taurus sun, or let's say their ascendant might also be Libra or Taurus. Like, Venus energy will somehow be present with them. And you know, Venusian energy, I mean, Aphrodite is the goddess of love. I expect that this person would be extremely well versed in the art of flirtation, in the art of building a relationship. But like, when I say flirtation, I don't want it to sound dirty in a way. I feel like that's how it sounds. Like, this person will be poised and elegant and charming. Like your typical Don Juan. Like, they can make you like them even if you are skeptical at first. They just would know how to communicate with people to build a harmonious relationship with them. As to the other cards, which are a bit more vague, so we have the Black Moon in Lilith. And the Black Moon Lilith has this energy generally of being, how can I say it? It's more of a dark energy, let's say. It can pertain to the darker sides of our psyche, so anything that we have repressed, or some kind of negative tendencies that have us in chokehold, especially if it's something around dating, around sexuality, around intimacy. I wouldn't say that this is necessarily a bad thing coming up for a person. We all have that side to us, but there just might be something that you feel which is more dark and deep within this person, where you might wonder like, I wonder if I get to know them, whether they would, for instance, have some kind of hidden kink, or maybe I wonder if their last relationship was extremely turbulent and dramatic. Like there is this sort of hidden edge to this person. I would say kind of like stereotypically Scorpio wise, what you would imagine a Scorpio being. And we also have the opposition. Now, because I mean, technically, I guess the moon is a planet that came up, they might have a moon-Venus opposition, or if not that, there might be some kind of important opposition in their chart. It could be even Venus, Black Moon, Lilith, or Moon with Black Moon, Lilith, or because the opposition came up under the Sagittarius card, it could be that they have something in Gemini, which is also really prominent, which makes this opposition. The idea behind the opposition astrologically is that it is energy which we can't really integrate into our life. It is a push-pull. Because if you take, for instance, the square energy is stressful, but it is energy that you can work through. It's kind of like urging you to put in more effort, and then you can somehow combine the two forces. With the opposition, that's not the case. With the opposition, the person might have a sort of blind spot, like they have this glass ceiling that they don't know how to exactly get through. And the way to get through it astrologically is by finding the middle point. But that's a rant. That's not necessarily something which you would be able to see right off the bat. Maybe purely personality-wise, there might be something really contradictory in this person, depending on which planets or points make this opposition up. Just... It reminds me of a crush on a guy I had who was sometimes like, I again don't want to say it negatively, but kind of like bipolar energy. Like you're completely chill and fine in this moment, and then you go completely 180 degrees in the other direction, and it's just like, what happened? Like, what did I say? What's the issue here? Like, why are you reacting this way? I didn't expect it from you. And again, I don't mean this in any type of negative or, let's say, violent way or like that, but it just might be surprising. For instance, if this person is such a sweet and humble and loving person, if they have Venus, let's say, on the ascendant, and then you might see a completely different side to them where they are extremely aggressive business-wise, let's say. It might be that type of opposition. Good, and to move into the tarot cards finally. With the tarot cards, we have again this confirmation, because the death card wanted to come out really strongly for this person. I pulled it out once, but I didn't feel like it, so I put it back and it came up again. So I definitely feel the message from the beginning is really strongly emphasized here. This is a really intense person, again with the Black Moon Lilith energy, which is giving Scorpio vibes and like watery vibes. And also with the whale, they have probably seen some shit in the past. They have overcome it, they have learned something from it, and they carry this ability to delve deep into things and to not be afraid of change. Like death and rebirth is scary, but it brings you to something better. So I definitely feel, out of all the things, the positive energy with the Sagittarius, as well as this ability for profoundness and for going deep within a matter, will be the two things which you notice from the start. We also have the Queen of Cups energy coming up for the person. So I feel like they definitely have this ability to be a gentle soul. They are empathetic towards other people. They also know what they are feeling inside. Like, they don't seem like someone who would be cut off from their emotions, like completely unaware what's happening. For instance, I lash out at you because someone made me mad, but I can't realize that that's why I'm lashing out. No, this would be a person who knows what's going on inside of them, and I feel like they would be able to act accordingly, not react. React would maybe have been if the queen was in a reversed position. They will know how to contain themselves and use those energies in a proactive and let's say building manner, like not in a destructive manner where they would, for instance, fight with other people, but instead positively, as a means of connecting. On the other hand, and this might also be sort of where this opposition comes into play, we have the Three of Swords card, which is like the heartbreak card. So on the one hand, again, it can signify, once you get to know this person, you find out that they have been through a lot and they have overcome it. But there is also another option here, and on the one hand, this is that they might be quite harsh on themselves, because the Three of Swords, we can be our own worst critic. So there might be something of the sort going on here. It could also be that, as nice and understanding and empathetic as they are, it could be that sometimes you see a side to them, especially, again, I want to say this will be more of their business side potentially, where they can completely destroy you with their words. You know how there are just people out there who might not say a lot or might not speak often, but when they speak, they just completely cut your head off with what they say, because it is absolutely bullseye, 100% through the heart. I feel like this will be this person. They are observant, again, they are empathetic. They understand the people around them, and this is one side to it. When you see through the people around you, you can use those, be it strengths or weaknesses, to your advantage. So I feel like, especially if someone crosses them in a way, in a significant way, I think they can be quite sharp. And the last thing I'm seeing for them, and actually I said that I see this more for business. I do. I think, again, it can come up in their relationships, but it would not be as drastic. I wouldn't say that the word to describe them is a lone wolf, but they are not afraid to move away from the pack and pursue their own thing and do whatever floats their boat. This will be more visible, again, I feel like, in business than in relationships. Maybe in relationships it will just come out as them not being codependent on people. Like, we are great, we are having a blast, we are enjoying ourselves, but if I decide that this is having some kind of negative impact, if I'm getting negatively attached or whatever, I can take a step back, take a breather, and move on. And in business, I feel like this will be more visible with both the Ace of Pentacles and the Three of Pentacles. Again, I feel like they can completely collaborate with other people when it is necessary, but again, when it's not, they can take a step back, they can be the leader, they can put their own seeds into the ground, and they're not going to be afraid of moving forward. Like, if someone's dragging them back for whatever reason, be it personally or professionally, not saying that they will cut them off again aggressively or somehow with spite, but they would not be afraid to just stay their ground and do whatever is right for them in order for this venture to happen. So yeah, Pile 1, this is, I would say, everything I see. I hope you like the person that I described, and if not, then push them back again into the tarot universe and go pick another pile. Okay? And I wish you all the luck. Hello, pile 2. If you chose either this bracelet here with the small heart which is dangling off of it, or the dragon card, then this is your part of the reading. Let's get into who has a crush on you. And this person is definitely interesting. Maybe if I were to sum them up with one positive word, this will be balanced. And let me elaborate a little bit what I mean by balanced. So, firstly, starting off with the dragon card. The dragon card is part of the spirit cards in the animal deck. So it is basically like the cosmic, like the spirit cards are in a way kind of stupidly said, but they are more whole than the other cards, let's say. Like they are more end of the cycle of evolution, of spiritual development type of energy. And the dragon, the idea with the dragon is that this is a person who is very well aware of themselves, of their positives, of their negatives, but also of what they want in life. And when you have that type of knowledge about yourself, it opens up your courage to pursue what exactly it is that you want in life. You become a sort of visionary. You become someone who gets this unstoppable inner drive just because you are not burdened by confusion. You are not burdened by choices. Like, you know what you are set to do and you just have to do it. So the main energy of this person who has a crush on you, be it a person you know or a person who is yet to come into your life, or maybe they have already come into your life but you still haven't noticed them, who knows, but they have this essence in them. Like when you meet them, or if you have already met them, they have the vibe of someone who is really in tune with themselves and really assured in what they want and what they are pursuing. The dragon, also I had to Google it, it corresponds to the third chakra, which is the navel chakra, which has to do exactly with our self-esteem and sense of purpose. So when this person comes into your life, somehow their drive forwards, like their, I want to say, not hollow ambition type of drive, but their need to change something profoundly in themselves and in their surroundings, like that type of drive, like that type of life purpose feeling, will be one of the first things that you'll notice about them. The second card that came up for you, which has to do with either how you will meet this person, like in what type of circumstance, or it can point to something from within their life. The Judication card speaks about all type of, let's say, people in uniform. That's how I want to put it. So either this person could be like a lawyer, a judge, a police officer, a doctor, I don't know, a tax advisor, like just some kind of either teacher or some kind of public service sector important person, just someone who has more expertise than you in a given field, and you go to them with a specific problem to receive a specific solution, the way you would go to a judge in a court, like that type of thing. So it could be that you are looking for the services of such a type of person, or I don't know, maybe you scratch someone's car while you are parking and they decide to sue you, and you go to the courtroom and then you fall in love and it is a movie scene. I don't know. I don't have enough imagination to imagine it, but it will be something along those lines. Good. And because the card itself is neither positive or negative, like the starting circumstance can be more positive or it can be more negative. So we'll keep it at that. Now, moving on to the astrological cards. Differently from pile 1, you actually received quite a lot of signs. So, starting off with, we have the cardinal energy. In case you don't know, cardinal signs are the starters of the zodiac. So those are the people who are great at beginning a project, like having an idea, but might not necessarily be that well versed in how to exactly carry it out. So those would be like Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. So one of those signs can be significant in this person's chart. And I would say that most likely it will be Cancer, because Cancer came up as a separate card as well. And Cancer energy, it is water energy. It is, out of all the cardinal signs, it is the sign which is more like emotionally connected, emotionally aware. Cancers are nurturing, especially to the people around them. The Cancer house in astrology is the 4th house, which is like your home, your family, your roots. So family might be really important in a way to this person, be it, for instance, they might work with family, or they might have a really close relationship, especially, let's say, with the mother figure, because Cancer can be more so related to the mother. Again, it is it depends on the situation, but just going off of stereotypes, so to say. And yeah, Cancer is extremely protective energy. Generally, I would say the water signs are quite protective in and of themselves, but exactly because Cancer energy is the energy of the home and of the family, this person will make it very clear that if you somehow come sideways towards their family members, towards their love interest or whatever, towards their friends, they would not be afraid to like bite you. I don't know what do Cancers do with their little claws? Like, they wouldn't be afraid to attack you, let's say. Let's keep it at that. And yeah, I also said at the beginning that this person seems to be really balanced. Also because apart from the cardinal signs that came up for them, we also have 2 fixed signs. So we have the signs of Aquarius and Taurus, which are also opposed. So they might have some kind of significant opposition in those signs. If not, again, just one of the signs might be significant for them in their chart. Fixed signs are the second sign after the cardinal sign, which takes something and holds on to it and sees it through to the end, even if it's till the bitter end. I can't talk today, like every day. Anyways, so this person, I feel like when they start doing something, they would not flake out like, for instance, I as a Libra would do. They would be able to carry it out till the end. Now, the drawback to the fixed signs is exactly that. They are fixed in their place. So it can be that this person is a little bit hard-headed. If they decide on something, on a course of action, you might not be able to budge them in a different direction. Again, I would say this is kind of confirmed with the dragon at the start. This is not necessarily a negative thing. Sometimes just when you truly know what you want and you know what you are going afterwards, or towards, nothing can set you off course. Like, you will see it through. So that tenaciousness is another aspect of this person which you will see. Now, as to the signs, specifically Taurus and Aquarius, they are opposed. So it could be that this person has both sides to them in a more balanced manner. Typically, Taurian energy is very grounded energy. It is the energy of luxury. It is the energy of I want to go to a nice hotel on a nice vacation, relax, have my coffee, enjoy myself, get a nice massage. Like Taurus people are very centered in their body and in their physical senses. So this might be one aspect of this person. They might enjoy luxury, they might enjoy spending on themselves or again on the people around them. There will be something earthly and sensual within them. But Aquarius, on the other hand, Aquarius is like the mad professor, like the mad genius professor who no one completely understands, but everyone likes in a way because they are endearing, and you can go to them to get some kind of innovative idea if you have some kind of problem. So this is the other side of this person. They will most likely be a person of, let's say, higher than average intellect. They might be very imaginative, they might be innovative in their way of thinking, and specifically because under the Aquarius card I pulled out the Mercury card. It could also be that their Mercury is in the sign of Aquarius, and if that is the case, they're probably someone who thinks fast, who gets like little bursts of genius, like of ideas. And yeah, they might also just flat out be a little bit extravagant themselves, because Aquarius energy is like David Bowie type of energy. Someone who might be a little bit flashy, a little bit out there, a little bit outrageous, but in a quirky way, like not in a I am the sun in everyone's life like Leo type of way, but in the other extreme. Like I woke up and I put whatever I felt like today and I'm owning it. Good. Yes, and the final astrological card that we have for this person, which might somehow be important in their chart, we have the asteroid Astraea, which is the Greek goddess of justice. I have actually never used this asteroid in astrology, but that's fine. The idea is that it brings light through times of challenge. And when the asteroid appears, it emphasizes that you have the ability to maintain your goals and maintain your drive and endure difficulty in this aspect of life. Now, again, we don't have any houses, any signs, so I would be able to tell you maybe this person's asteroid will be in Taurus, maybe in Aquarius, maybe in Cancer, but at the very least, purely as a significator of personality, I would say that it again emphasizes that this person has great tenacity to chase whatever they are chasing. Good. Now let's move into the tarot cards specifically, and I would say the tarot cards mirror more or less perfectly what the astrology cards showed us up to this point. So, firstly, like with pile 1, we again have the Death card, and the Death card is basically that. It is something which might be scary, something which might be unpleasant, something which might not be our first choice to do, but death is inevitable. If you want to explore something new, you have to let something old aside. And I feel like this person has done this many times and they are not afraid of it. In fact, what I'm thinking about looking at the card right now, in this deck specifically, death completely opens the gates to a new type of sunshine. So I feel like this person looks at change as something which should completely be embraced and even sought out after, because it brings another horizon, it brings a completely new world to them. Now, I don't know actually how to formulate this card, but we have the 10 of, not the 10 of the 10 of wheels, the wheel of fortune. We have the wheel of fortune in the reversed position, which I would say right off the bat can very much signify that this person has been through that cycle of up and down, up and down. One day you are up, the other day you are down. Like, life cannot be the same all the time. Sometimes you experience losses, sometimes you experience gains, and I feel like they are okay with that. They might, because they would also be human like the rest of us, they might have their off days, they might have their days where they sit down and cry over spilled milk, for instance, because they were in a Wheel of Fortune reversed type of situation and things didn't pan out exactly how they wanted to, but they are fast to recuperate and get back on the horse. Again, this is not a person who will sit in despair long. I feel like if in the past they had this issue where maybe they held on to things a little bit too long because of the fixed energy that came up for them, I feel like they have kind of overcome this. At least they can relatively fast see if something that they are holding on to is actually going to be positive or it's actually going to be negative. Because on the one hand, with the death card on the one row, we have the idea of someone who is, again, very fast to chase some kind of result. They might even be a little bit like restless energy about it. Like, they want it, they will go after it, they will get it. But if something along the way proves to be problematic, if something doesn't work out, if the tables turn and they actually notice that this thing that they were chasing is not as good as it had promised, I feel like they would absolutely be okay with leaving it to die. They would not bat an eyelash. I feel like they are over this part of the drama of life, of crying over something which is easy to see that it won't work out. But on the other hand, when they see that there is some kind of potential, even if it's a really long-term type of potential, they would have again the tenacity to go after it. It might need some tweaking along the way with the Five of Cups. Again, if we have some kind of situation here that doesn't work out, yes, they might sulk for a day or two. That's normal. Again, we're all human, unfortunately. Maybe next time around in another universe we would be more perfect than this. But this time around we can take some time off. We can sit down and look at our failed efforts which are going down the drain. But then we can turn around and notice that there are other seeds to sow. This person, as much as with the cardinal energy specifically, as much as they might wish for fast results and they might put in maximum effort to get those fast results, they're not someone who would get discouraged by the need of putting in more work and taking more time. Again, to reinstate from the start of the reading, this seems an extremely balanced person. They might want things to happen one way, let's say extremely fast, extremely with a bang. They might want everything to always go perfectly, like who doesn't? But if it doesn't, and even if 100 times you get extremely lucky, you get everything on the first try, the 101st time would be a failure. And this is when their true character shows, because they can sit down with themselves, they can take a look at their honest effort, they can reevaluate whether they need to abandon or just slightly tweak their course of action. And if it is the latter, they are not afraid to put in the work day in and day out until the point comes where they have built this whatever empire they are looking towards. And I feel like all of this happening is superseded by this calmness. In no way is this person giving me the immediate energy of like, even if there is a little bit of restlessness and of needing to do things fast, I don't think they have nervous energy. I feel like they would be quite a stoic person, and the type of person, again, with the adjudication card, with the advisor card, the type of person who you would turn towards if you have a problem. And they would be able to help you, either with specific guidance, with like tangible steps, or if not, at least with the feeling of authority and having your back. And yeah, pile 2, this is more or less it. So I hope that this was helpful. I hope that you liked what you heard about this person. And again, like I said with pile 1, if you don't, just shove it back into the universe of tarot and go watch something else. Hello, pile 3. If you chose this bracelet over here with the little smileys, I don't know if you can see them, or the shark card, then this is your part of the reading, and let's get into it. And I just want to preface this because your pile is quite different from the other two. I don't want it to sound negative, but out of the 3 piles, I would say that you are the pile which is 99% likely to already know this person. But if you are the 1% that doesn't, great. Don't get discouraged maybe by the lack of superlatives I'm gonna use. I feel like this person who has or will have a crush on you is still a diamond in the making. So the other 2 piles came out definitely like people who are more so in their final energy, let's say, although we do technically learn and grow our whole life, or at least we should. This person seems to still be getting there, but again, let's just get into the cards so I don't discourage you from the start. And like I said with the other 2 piles at the end, of course, if you don't like what you're hearing, it's not the end of the world. You can go to another tarot reading, or when you see this person in your real life, you can tell them to politely go to hell. So let's start off with the shark card. I'm gonna actually read it out to you from the booklet, what its energy signifies. The shark is only dangerous when we don't acknowledge it. This card indicates that something big needs to be exposed. It is lurking in the depths and creating tension. Shark energy takes over us when we are hesitant to be honest, to be totally ourselves, or to say what we really want. It may be tempting to continue pretending nothing is wrong, but when shark energy is at play, we feel its presence encircling us. When the card is in balance, it can be intriguing, captivating, and mysterious, but when it is out of balance, it can be sneaky, destructive, and in order to bring it into balance, one needs to be honest. Now, let's get briefly also into the second significator that you got from the Kipper deck. It is the main male card. So the way you would meet this person is not necessarily clear with this card. Typically in this deck, if it is to be used properly by the booklet, this is just the significator for a male figure. So for instance, if you, the viewer, are male, this would be the significator of you. I guess that would be a fun spin to the reading. If it just says you don't need to know who your crush is, you need to focus on your own bullshit at the moment. But I doubt that's the message. More so, I would say that the idea here is that this person who has a crush on you will somehow have main energy in your life. Whether when you see them, you would automatically notice them, maybe they're tall, dark, and mysterious looking. Maybe they are extremely attractive. Maybe they have this dominant energy around them, because this is what this guy in the card is giving me, like dominant. He will just undress you with his eyes, basically. But again, you are not necessarily meant to know the type of field or place where you would meet them. It just means that it would be quite obvious in a way who this person is, that you are interested in them. Like, they will make their presence known. They are not someone who shrink away and you will not notice. That's why also I'm saying I feel like out of the 3 piles, you are most likely to already know them and to directly know who this person is, who is so visible and main character energy. Now, before we move into the tarot, let's go briefly over the astrological cards. So to recap, it could be that they have one of these placements specifically in their natal chart, if you happen to know what it is. Or if not, it can be that they just bring this energy into their personality. So we have 2 signs, which are Taurus and Capricorn. Taurus energy, both signs to start off with are earth signs. So that could be a part of why this person has such a strong energy. Like, earth signs are really grounded. They can be really dominating, especially Capricorn is very daddy vibes. So they might have this heavy, like, boss energy, like, I'm gonna boss you around, I'm gonna tell you what to do, but I don't see it in a negative way. I don't see this in a negative way, let's say. I see this, if anything, more in a sexy and tempting type of way. Good. And Capricorn, I mean, it's that. It's a bit rigid as a sign, maybe a little bit unemotional, maybe a bit cold, but that doesn't mean that the person isn't caring. They are just more stable, they are more grounded. They would take care of you, but more so in a physical type of way. Like, they would bring you soup when you are sick or whatever, but they would not necessarily be the person who you spend 5 hours on the phone with talking about your feelings. So this might be one side to this person. Now, planet-wise, 2 cards came up, both the blue moon and the super moon. So it can be that the moon in this person's chart is really significant, or the moon itself can be in Taurus or in Capricorn. Or if not, I would say with the blue moon, actually for the blue moon, you can check if they are born on the 2nd full moon within a given zodiac sign, then they might have a blue moon. If it's not that, it can just signify that this person is a type of occurrence that only happens once every so often, like once in a blue moon, as the expression goes. And the super moon itself is like a supercharged version of the moon. So it is a time when it is great for manifestation. So it could be that this person seems to you like someone who really easily gets things, especially again if it is like physical type of manifestations, like something like wealth, career, money, whatever. They might not. I continue to not be able to speak today. What's new? They might have an abundance aura when you look at them. They might they might look well off. Especially again with the Taurus and the Capricorn, those are signs that are really centered in the body. They might enjoy luxury, they might dress nicely. Again, this main male is in a suit and tie. He looks great. He is not shabby, he is not wearing dirty old sneakers and a t-shirt. So yeah. And the other 2 things, we have the part of fortune coming up for this person. The part of fortune is something which you can calculate based on your sun, moon, and ascendant, and it signifies a point in the natal chart where, if we use it to our advantage, it can bring us great fortune. So again, there might be something significant around that in the person's chart, which shines through. For instance, if they have the part of fortune in Capricorn again, or in Taurus, you might very readily see that they are abundant, that when they put their mind into the material plane, that they produce results fast. It is something like that. We also have the asteroid Sedna. Let's say Sedna, I have no idea. I have not used it before, but it can signify something around fears of commitment and love and romantic relationships. So the story behind this asteroid is that she is the goddess who feared marriage, and she had to be rescued by her own father. So there might be something which you very readily see in this person, especially if they are earth heavy. This might come up, I feel like. They might be lacking something in that plane around healing. They might have some kind of, let's say, commitment issue that they need to fix, or maybe they had a traumatic relationship or something, or bad childhood where their parents split up or something. There is something here around commitment and needing to heal that aspect of themselves. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it at that. Let's move on to the tarot cards. And the tarot cards, again, they act more or less as a confirmation of things, providing maybe some additional context. Now, I want to preface this, blah, whatever, with saying that this person is not a dumbass. They are not stupid. They are probably more or less, at least, mentally aware of their downsides. They have the King of Swords as the first card that came up for them from the tarot. So I feel like they are a person who can be relied upon, especially in matters of the mind. So if you need advice from them, if you need like a guider, a teacher on the mental plane, for instance, for career guidance, for just a friend who would be able to tell you objectively which version, which path would be better for you, they can do that. Again, they are not stupid. They are not fleeting away in emotion or in illusion. They have their head on their shoulders. But moving out of that, we might have something which is emotionally needing work. Like, it just needs work. I feel like, again, I don't want to speculate. It can be something from the childhood. It can be some kind of old relationship wound. But there is something which has shaken them up emotionally to the point where they can't really set their mind on a decision. They might be a little bit flaky. They might be indecisive, which is keeping them at a standstill. We have both the Page of Cups and the Seven of Cups, which came up in the reversed position for this person. So while they might be imaginative, they might be creative, they might have this emotional streak somewhere deep inside of them, there is something which is blocking them. I don't know if it's fears, or rather, I don't know what type of fear it is. Maybe it is fear of commitment to one choice, just because you don't know. Everything is hidden, so you need to commit to something to lift the veil up and to see what happens. But that is scary, because when you make one choice, we kind of fall into the illusion that if we choose something, we can't change our mind afterwards. And we can, like, you just need to move on a certain road, and if then at a certain point you see that this road is not for you, you can cut your losses and move along. Of course, if this is a relationship, I mean, even if it's a career or a friendship or whatever, it's not great to come to the realization that you need to leave something behind, especially if it hurts another person. But this is just kind of the reality of life. Sometimes you'll make the wrong choice and you need to recalibrate. And I feel like this person might be kind of stuck in limbo because they don't want to do that. And I don't want to say that it comes from a negative place per se. Again, I want to go back to the shark card at the beginning. I feel like they just have something which they are sort of afraid to admit to themselves at the moment or to explore. I feel like they are probably hiding something from themselves, which is keeping them stuck in this emotional lack of abundance and this emotional fear of committing to something and this lack of flow and this feeling of a blockage. And it might honestly just be some kind of self-esteem type of issue. I mean, technically, the Queen of Wands, she should be, if I have some kind of hair, where it is, where is it? I can't see it. Anywho, she should be more self-assured than she is in the reversed position. I feel like this person, again, they may just have been hurt in the past. I feel like they are kind of in their shrinking violet time in life right now. Again, they might be really competent in one side of the issue. Again, with the king, they might be great in their career, they might be great in the mental plane. But when you move along into something else, you might then see that lack of self-esteem in them. And this is just a demon that they have to slay on their own in order for all of these blockages to come undone. Because I feel like there is the promise here that they have great abundance, great flow, great love, great emotional support, and all of those nice things to give. It's not like they don't have it, it's not like they don't want it, but they still just haven't found the correct way to express it, or they might express it haphazardly, or there might even be an issue here somehow with, for instance, the material situation they're finding themselves in is making them unsure and making them block out romantic prospects. Like there is some kind of issue here. And it's not about intellect. It's not about I would venture on to say that they're probably more or less aware of this mentally, but I don't have the feeling that they right now have the courage to be honest with themselves. Because how can I explain it? There are different fields of understanding something, or different planes, I should rather say. So when you get presented some kind of new information, you have the moment when you hear that information and it goes through your logical brain and you comprehend it. And then there is a second point in time where you truly understand it on a deep level. I would say this is the emotional level, at least for me, where you truly say to yourself, yes, this, I need to do this. I have the inner need to do this. It's not just like a floating logical idea, but it turns into a need. And I feel like they still haven't made it to this point. They might understand that they need to change something. They might still be attributing that change not to the right things. So they might attribute it, for instance, to I need to improve my finances in order to, let's say, commit. The most simple, if we take the card from the beginning, that they might have an issue with committing with the asteroid in Sedna. They might say to themselves, I need to make money before I commit. But this is not actually the issue. It is something else. Or they might say to themselves, my self-esteem will come when I have the material means. Then I'll be able to put myself out there more. Then I'll have everything to show my true self. But that's not the issue. You need to be vulnerable and show your true self without the other things. Like, the other things are filling, they are great to have, but they will not bring you to the end result. You need to take the hard way to the destination and not the easy way out. There is no easy way out. You can have all the money in the world, for instance, and still not feel assured in yourself because you're carrying around some kind of old wound. So maybe this might start to clear off from them when they start showing their true colors a little bit more. Or again, there might be some kind of emotional issue that needs resolution apart from that. Like, everything will be somehow connected. And again, if you know this person, I would be interested to hear whether you are aware what this issue is for them. But yeah, pile 3, I would say I will leave it at that, because either way I've probably repeated a couple of things more than I should have. But yeah, I just want to leave you generally with the message again. If you don't want this person in your life, no one's forcing you, it's absolutely fine. But if this is an important person for you somehow, they have the capability to move on from this, but they are still not there. And if you can, if you want, if you have the time and capacity, of course you can try and help them out. If not, just leave them be, whatever, take it as an ego boost that someone likes you and move on. And yeah, and I honestly wish you, if this is a person that you are interested in, I hope that they make it out of this phase as soon as possible and make it towards their full-fledged and complete personality of the shark, who is fearless and is like the alpha predator and can overpower everyone and win and have their way and blah 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 and all of the good stuff. And yeah, pile 3, I hope that you are not all too discouraged by this, and again, if you are, just delete it from your consciousness and move on to another reading. Good, I wish you all the best.